Everybody, so guys, as you all know, President William Ruto of Kenya, he's in the United States for state visit, and this is kind of like a big deal because President of Kenya never been in the United States since 2003, so it has been more than 2 decades. There have been no official state visit between Kenya and United States. But not only that, for the entire continent of Africa, there's never been state visit for 16 years. So it's kind of like a big deal to happen right now. But that is not what people from the media and Kenyans actually are happy for. The people of Kenya right now, as I'm saying, they are actually quite mad. You know, I'm not saying all of them, but some of them, because of various reasons. So one of the things that President William Ruto has done, he went there with a private jet not of himself, but he actually rent a private jet for like over 200 million Kenyan shilling. That's equal to 1.5 million US dollars. 1.5 million US dollars. But also he has taken more than 30 different officials. That means, you know, a lot of money spent for that, and as well as, you know, using this new jet that he actually rent. So the thing is this: why public masses, why masses, you know, people are actually really attacking him right now on social media and different platforms? The reason is because since President Ruto of Kenya came to the regime, he actually, of course, promised to change the economy of Kenya. And one of the moves that he has done, and a lot of people have been attacking him, is tax. He's even been called a tax collector, because what he did, he kind of like imposed tax on everything. Not only that, but he increases the price. And so anything that moves for him, you gotta pay tax for it, which for someone like me who studied economics, I clearly understand. You know, if you want the country to move, then you have to impose tax. If you want things to move on, that's the only thing country can make money and actually initiate some development projects. If you see the country moving, it's because of the budget. And if budget increases because of the tax, I think everybody will be willing to give the money. But incidents like this is what actually generate anger inside of the people, because renting a private jet for $1.5 million just to go to United States and coming back, it's kind of like a little bit extreme, right? For comparing that this is actually the taxes of the individuals. I mean, Kenyans, people who have been paying, they actually pay for this money, and it's been done, you know, by this. And that is just one of the things. But since he came to a regime, President Ruto, he has been on foreign trips, both, you know, domestically and internationally, more than 50 different foreign trips. And until 2023 on July, it's actually written that he has spent more than 9.2 million US dollars just for foreign trips. But I gotta understand, I gotta acknowledge that it's very important for our leaders to go on these foreign trips, because they can create a connection. They can actually, you know, create international relations and help the country to generate more revenue and more income. But if you go on these, imagine 50 trips, 50 different trips, 50 different countries since he became, you know, the president. You know, if you calculate the month that has been there, each month he has been going to 3 different countries, and he spent that amount of money. And right now in the USA, of course, they're going to talk about height, you know, issue. They're going to talk about, he has spoken actually in the conference in Rwanda, that they're going to talk about this financial, you know, system reformation. You know what I'm saying? He has been talking about this deal for a while. You know, but this trip, it brought a lot of questions and a lot of anger inside of Kenyan people, and as well as Africans, that is it necessary that you have been talking about, you know, imposing tax? You have actually been imposing tax to us. You're paying extra money for that, but you spend on your foreign trips. Why not taking just any other, you know, jet? But I think the outcome that will come out of this trip is what will actually clear this, you know, issue that is happening right now, or even make it worse for him. So these are opinions that I've seen online, that I've seen people talking about, that I've seen people actually sharing their opinion here and there. But I'm going to share with you guys as well my opinion at the end. And I want you guys to let me know in the comment section, what are your opinion on President Ruto's trip to the United States? And as I said, this is kind of a big deal because it hasn't happened for more than 2 decades and more than 16 years. No African president have went, you know, I'm really surprised when you look at those data. It's been 16 years. But our leaders have always been called there, like together in US Africa Summit. They went there last year, I remember, but they were never really invited. We are always the one actually calling them to come to our countries for the state visit and everything. So I think what public is confusing is that sometimes our leaders are hiding behind the face that, we're just going out to create more opportunities, to strengthen the international relation. But the question is this: why these leaders are not coming to our countries? Why you have to take more than 50 different trips, foreign trips? And the people who are coming to your country is not as much as you going to them. Why you always have to go to them? Because, when you go to them, it means they are actually more important. That's why you're going to them. So that means even the level of negotiations is not going to be the same than when somebody actually comes to you. You understand? Just in a normal, just thinking, all right? If I come to you, it means I have an issue that I want you to help me out. If you come to me, it means you have an issue that you want me to help you out. So the level of negotiation is not going to be the same. If I'm going to be the only one that always initiate a move, it means, I'm in the begging side. And as a result, you have issues like this. So I'm not here because I want to bash William Ruto or whatever. All right. President William Ruto, me personally, I've been, supporting him in some of his moves, and I've been criticizing him in some of the moves, not because I have a personal hatred towards Kenya or towards him. No, the matter of fact, I love the guy as a person. But these are concerns of our people, and I think this reminds me. Okay, I'm not saying that everybody has to be like that, because for instance, there's one quote that I've shared today that I want to share with you guys as well. I want to share with you today. The late president of Tanzania, John Pombe Magufuli, I actually shared the video there, guys. You can go and check it out. This is what he said. He said this couple years back when he was alive, he was giving this speech, and he said this. He said, "I turned down numerous invitations from Western countries because they did not vote for me." He said, specifically, the European did not vote for me. "My primary commitment is to serve the people of Tanzania who voted for me and assist those who are less fortunate." He actually used poor people, "in improving their lives. I feel deep responsibility towards them." John Pombe Magufuli. So this is actually what President said, when he was alive. And I kind of feel like this is something that our leaders have to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like for him, he said, I got a lot, until, he has been a president for more than 5 years, and he has never went outside of the continent. He did just few trips, but he was within the continent because they say, hey, Tanzanian people voted for me, so I am responsible for them and not for these people who are not in the continent. And he said this, he said, right now I'm in this region and I get to hear your problem about water, about electricity, but if I were in Europe, I will never get to hear your issues. So imagine if you've been to 50 different countries, that means you spend a lot of time and a lot of money, because when President lived, for example, right now, he went with more than 30 different, people, including one famous comedian. I don't know who is that, but he's actually included there as well. That means all of this, they're spending the government money, they're spending everything like that, taxes that our normal citizen, they're paying. So imagine 50 different, and he has spent more than 9.2 until last year on July, 2 million. And this one is only 1.5 for jet, but other expenses as well. So imagine how much money is that, and how much that money can do to our country if we remain in our country. Because, when you go to all these countries, we have diplomatic relations. That means we have ambassadors in those countries who are actually representing us. We can actually use them to handle the issues that are in there. We can only go there when it's necessary, of course, when one president is meeting with another president. But when anything that is too much is also poison. He can do that, but not as much as it's been done right now in Africa. And especially when the people of the country are struggling and are complaining about the increasement of the taxes, and at the same time you're still using the same money that they're paying for trips like this. So I'm not saying this is not necessary. Just don't get me wrong. It is necessary for the development of our countries. We must maintain this relationship. We must have a win-win situation with all these countries. But we also need to use wisdom, because if anything, if it is too much, then it's hurting our people. You might not see it how it's hurting them, but the economy of our countries are still very low, and we cannot afford to spend as much money as we can in these trips rather than supporting and helping our people. It is very important. So, and it's very important for me to finish this video by saying this is the time, man, to learn, and this is the time really to to make moves that will transform our continent. It's the time to do that, man. Instead of just spending and spending and spending, why don't we serve and serve and serve for our people? For instance, I recently just moved from the house that I was living. I moved to another city, I moved to another place, and I've realized this, that the city that I was living before, I was spending a lot of money, but where I am right now, I spend less money, and I'm able to do a lot of things for my personal development and those who are surrounding me than before. So, and one of the things that President Magufuli said in the video that I shared earlier, he said this, that Tanzania is rich. He said Africa is rich, but the only problem that we have is mismanagement and misuse of our resources and our money. That's what cost us to live poorly. So it could be misuse and mismanagement of money. We have been trusted with money. Our countries are rich, but how do we use it? How do we spend it? So one of the things that he found that a lot of people actually, they were receiving salary even though they died a long time ago. They were still receiving salary. They were still in the payroll. He had to cut them down. Expenditure of all these holidays, that national holidays that were not really necessary, but he was spending a lot of money, he cut it down. Foreign trips, he prohibited it, and he said anyone who wants to go, any servant, any government servant who wants to go to abroad, they will need to get a special permission from me. If it is a trip that is require you to go, you're gonna need to get permission from me. And because of that, a lot of money will cut down. So misuse and mismanagement of resources and money, that's what caused us to be poor. And because of that, Tanzania were able to buy more than 9 different flights by cash without getting support from anywhere. He decided to build a railway that starts from Dodoma, it goes to Burundi, it's going to go all the way to Congo by our own money. Later on, they saw that project is going on there, therefore they came and they're trying to support. A lot of projects were done by the local money because this misuse and mismanagement of money was actually cut down and helped Tanzania to grow. So this is the lesson that we can learn from the late Pombe Magufuli, and I apply even to the current leaders right now, because Africa is rich, our countries are rich, but we don't have discipline of mismanagement, and we don't have discipline of managing well the money that comes to us. We only misuse. So I don't know what is going to come out of this meeting. We'll find out later after he comes back. But all in all, man, I just wanted to come here and to say my piece. And you guys don't think that I'm a hater. I'm not a hater anymore, but I'm just a concerned Africa, that I believe that Africa can sustain and we can develop ourselves if and only if we manage our resources and we manage our money and we don't misuse it. I appreciate you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section.